In the vast expanse of the Norwegian Sea, where the waters stretch endlessly and the horizon seems to merge with the sky, an extraordinary beluga whale captured the world's attention with its unusual behavior and striking appearance. This was no ordinary creature. This was Valdimir, a name blending the Norwegian word for whale, val, and a nod to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The name itself hinted at a deeper story, one that intrigued both locals and international observers. Valdimir's story began in April 2019 when fishermen near Norway's northern coast encountered the whale behaving unusually. Unlike other marine animals that typically shy away from human contact, Valdimir seemed to seek it out. This whale, far from being intimidated by humans, actively sought their attention. He would approach boats, interact with fishermen, and even playfully nudge at their equipment, displaying a level of friendliness and curiosity that was both endearing and perplexing. What truly set Valdimir apart was a harness he wore. This wasn't just any harness, it was specially designed and fitted, raising questions about its purpose and origin. This harness bore a mount for a camera and the inscription, "Equipment of St. Petersburg." The presence of such equipment suggested that Valdimir was not just a wild animal, but one that had been trained and possibly used for specific tasks. The harness hinted at a connection to Russian military activity. The inscription, clearly indicating a Russian origin, led many to speculate about the whale's true purpose. This sparked widespread speculation that Valdimir was no ordinary whale. He was suspected of being a trained Russian spy. The idea of a marine animal being used for espionage was both fascinating and alarming. The friendly beluga, with his curious behavior, became an international sensation. News outlets around the world picked up the story, and Valdimir quickly became a symbol of the mysterious and often unseen world of intelligence operations. Valdimir's case raised eyebrows within the intelligence community. Experts and analysts debated the implications of using marine animals for covert operations, considering the ethical and practical aspects of such practices. Was this a sign of a new era of espionage, where marine animals were being trained for covert operations? The possibility opened up a new realm of strategic thinking, where the natural world could be harnessed for human conflicts. His very existence blurred the lines between the natural world and the shadowy realm of international intrigue. Valdimir's story serves as a reminder of how interconnected our world has become, where even the most unexpected creatures can play a role in the complex web of global affairs. The suspicion surrounding Valdimir wasn't solely due to his unusual friendliness. His behavior was so out of the ordinary that it immediately raised eyebrows among marine biologists and casual observers alike. Beluga whales are known to be curious, but Valdimir's actions went beyond mere curiosity. The harness he wore, clearly man-made, pointed towards a history of human interaction, possibly for training purposes. This harness wasn't just any ordinary piece of equipment. It was specifically designed to fit snugly around his body, indicating that it was custom-made for him. Experts believed it to be a type used by the Russian Navy, further fueling speculation. The design and materials used in the harness were consistent with those seen in military applications, adding another layer of intrigue to Valdimir's story. The harness's camera mount suggested Valdimir might have been intended for surveillance, perhaps recording underwater infrastructure or tracking naval movements. This kind of technology is not typically used in civilian research, leading many to believe that Valdimir had a more clandestine role. Adding to the intrigue, Valdimir displayed an unusual affinity for human interaction. He seemed to seek out human company, often approaching boats and interacting with people in a manner that was both endearing and puzzling. He would approach boats, fetch objects thrown into the water, and even allow humans to pet him. This level of comfort and familiarity with humans is rarely seen in wild animals, suggesting that Valdimir had been conditioned to behave this way. This was behavior rarely, if ever, seen in wild belugas. Wild belugas are typically more cautious, and less likely to engage in such close interactions with humans. Some marine biologists theorized that Valdemir had been trained from a young age, possibly in a Russian military program, to interact with humans and perform tasks. This theory was supported by his ability to understand and respond to human commands, something that would require extensive training. This unusual familiarity with humans added weight to the theory that he was more than just a friendly whale. His behavior was consistent with that of an animal that had been trained for specific purposes, possibly espionage. While there was no concrete evidence confirming Valdemir's alleged spy training, the circumstantial evidence was compelling. The harness, his behavior, and the geopolitical context all pointed towards a more complex story. His behavior, the harness, and the geopolitical context all contributed to the mystery surrounding his origins. The story of Valdemir captured the imagination of people around the world, turning him into a symbol of the unknown and the unexplained. Valdemir's story became a modern-day animal spy thriller, capturing the imagination of the public and raising questions about the extent of animal training for military purposes. It also sparked debates about the ethics of using animals in such roles, highlighting the complex relationship between humans and the natural world. News of Valdemir spread like wildfire, captivating audiences worldwide. Media outlets clamored for information, eager to report on the Russian spy whale. Headlines screamed about espionage, with Valdemir's story becoming a global sensation. The public was enthralled by the idea of a trained spy whale, and social media was abuzz with theories and discussions. Valdemir's story became a parable for the trust and connection humans share with animals, even amidst international tensions. His story transcended borders and languages, reminding people of the intelligence and sensitivity of the natural world. People around the world followed Valdemir's journey with fascination. The attention wasn't always positive. Some criticized the speculation, arguing that it anthropomorphized Valdemir and distracted from the real issue, the potential exploitation of animals for military purposes. Regardless of the angle, Valdemir's story sparked important conversations about animal welfare, conservation, and the ethical implications of using animals in military or espionage activities. Section 4. Life in Norwegian waters. Despite the international intrigue surrounding him, Valdemir seemed unconcerned about the stir he was causing. He continued to frequent the waters off the Norwegian coast, seemingly enjoying the attention he received. He became a local celebrity, with people traveling from far and wide to catch a glimpse of the spy whale. Fishermen and boaters reported frequent encounters with Valdemir. He would often approach their vessels, playfully swimming alongside and even interacting with them. He seemed particularly fond of retrieving objects that had fallen overboard, bringing them back to the surface. His playful antics and apparent enjoyment of human company captivated those lucky enough to encounter him. Valdemir's presence brought joy to many and highlighted the special bond that can exist between humans and animals. Despite his unusual past and the speculation surrounding his purpose, Valdemir was embraced by the Norwegian community. He became a symbol of wonder and a reminder of the extraordinary creatures that inhabit our oceans. Section 5. A whale's demise. Tragically, the world was met with heartbreaking news in September 2024. The story of Valdemir, the enigmatic beluga whale, had come to a tragic end. Valdemir, who had captured hearts worldwide with his playful antics and mysterious origins, was found dead in a fjord near the Norwegian coast. His presence had been a source of fascination and joy for many. The news was met with an outpouring of grief and disbelief. As people around the world mourned the loss of this extraordinary creature, vigils were held and social media was flooded with tributes to the beloved whale. The exact cause of Valdemir's death remains uncertain. Marine biologists and scientists were left puzzled as they examined the whale's carcass for clues. A necropsy was performed, but the results were inconclusive. The team of veterinarians and marine experts could not pinpoint a definitive cause of death, leaving many questions unanswered. Some experts speculated that his demise may have been due to natural causes such as age or illness. Others suggested that environmental factors could have played a role, while others suggested that the stress of his unusual life, caught between two worlds, might have contributed to his untimely end. Valdimir had lived a life unlike any other whale, navigating both the wild and human interaction. Valdimir's death served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life, even for creatures as magnificent as whales. His story highlighted the delicate balance of marine life and the impact of human activities on these majestic beings. It also reignited the debate about the ethical implications of using animals for military purposes. Valdimir's past, rumored to be linked to military training, brought this controversial issue back into the spotlight. Was Valdimir's life cut short due to the actions of humans? The question loomed large as people pondered the consequences of such practices on the well-being of marine life. The question lingered, casting a shadow over his legacy. Valdimir's story will be remembered not only for the joy he brought, but also for the important conversations he sparked about the treatment of animals and the responsibilities we hold towards them.